11 foreign foods that are actually American. 1. Chop suey isn't Chinese. There is a regional Cantonese dish called suey. It's usually made with minced organ meats. American chop suey, however, is basically a kind of stir-fry. It was created by Chinese-American cooks in the 1800s. They needed a cheap way of feeding miners and railroad workers. 2. Chimichanga isn't Mexican. A chimichanga is simply a deep-fried burrito. It's a specialty of the American Southwest. The dish was invented in Arizona. 2 Arizona restaurants both claim it was their invention. 3. English muffins aren't British. Crumpets have been popular in the UK since the 1800s. These are leavened griddle cakes with a porous top. In 1880, Samuel Bath Thomas opened a bakery in New York City. Thomas was an English immigrant. He invented a variation he called toaster crumpets. Unlike their predecessors, these were halved and toasted. Thomas's company is now owned by a subsidiary of Mexico's Grupo Bimbo. It remains the largest purveyor of English muffins. 4. French dressing isn't French. Real French dressing is vinaigrette. It's an emulsion of olive oil and wine vinegar. The French add Dijon mustard, salt, and sometimes herbs. What Americans call French dressing has a vinaigrette base, but it also adds tomato paste, paprika, and brown sugar or corn syrup. 5. Garlic bread isn't Italian. There's no equivalent food in Italy. However, Italians often moisten bread with olive oil. Then they rub it with raw garlic. American garlic bread is typically made with butter and garlic powder. 6. Cuban sandwiches aren't Cuban. The modern Cuban sandwich was invented in Florida. Mixed meat sandwiches were common workers' fare in Cuba, but they didn't include Swiss cheese or pickles. In Tampa, salami is typically added to the mix. 7. German chocolate cake isn't German. This dessert has no connection with Germany. It's named after Samuel German, an English-born confectioner. He developed a variety of baking chocolate in 1852. The original recipe was called German's chocolate cake. General Foods widely distributed it, dropping the S at some point. 8. Swiss steak isn't Swiss. A Swiss steak is tenderized and braised in a sauce. It's unknown in Switzerland. Its name might be a reference to Swissing. It's the process of smoothing cloth through rollers. The steak is often tenderized by rolling. 9. Russian dressing isn't Russian. This popular dressing has nothing to do with Russian cuisine, but its early version included caviar. This was probably the origin of the name. Modern Russian dressing was invented in New Hampshire. Entrepreneur James E. Coburn started selling it in 1910. 10. Haagen-Dazs isn't Danish. This is actually a nonsense name. It was invented by the company founder. He wanted to thank the Danes for saving Jews during World War II, so he made up a vaguely Danish-sounding name. There's no letter A with 2 dots in Danish. 11. Rainbow rolls aren't Japanese. Rainbow roll is a type of sushi with avocado and crab stick. Japanese sushi never contains avocado at all. The California roll was the first American sushi invention. It famously uses avocado. The rainbow roll was a continuation of that idea.